Welcome to Teach Yourself series. This is lesson 1 of Microsoft Excel. This course is suitable for beginners of Excel user, or someone who has never used Excel before. This course will teach you the fundamental of Excel. At the end of this course you'll gain some fundamental knowledge about Excel. I hope you enjoy. Let's start the course. Welcome to lesson 1. In this lesson we will cover the following topics. First, we start with introduction. Then on second section, we dive in with creating simple data entry. Next we will cover topic on cell formatting. We go further with working with cells, rows, and columns. Next, we also cover topic working with worksheets. Now let's start with introduction. Excel is a very popular spreadsheet program that allows you to store, organize, and analyze information. Originally Excel used for accounting purposes, since then Excel has been used to manage data for personal or for business. Excel program works on computer on Windows or Mac operating system with the same functionalities. Excel also available on mobile devices, such as on iPhone or Android. Excel can be used to perform calculations, manage data, create graph, and many other usage. For the purpose of this tutorial, we are using Microsoft Excel 2016 on Windows 10. Now let's start with Excel interface. You can launch Excel from Windows Start menu or using shortcut on desktop if available. When you launch Excel 2016 for the first time, the Excel Start screen will appear. You'll be able to create a new workbook, choose template, and access your recently edited workbooks as shown on the screen. From the Excel Start screen, locate and select blank workbook to access the Excel interface. Now, let me show you the navigation in Excel. Excel uses the ribbon and quick access toolbar, as shown on screen. This is where you will find the commands to perform common tasks in Excel. The ribbon and tabs. Excel 2016 uses a tabbed ribbon system, instead of the traditional menus. The ribbon contains multiple tabs, each with several groups of commands. You will use these tabs to perform the most common tasks in Excel. Each tab will have one or more groups, as shown on the screen. Some groups will have an arrow. You can click for more options. Click each tab, you will be able to see more commands. You can also adjust the ribbon, which will show more commands or options. This is how to change the ribbon display options. The ribbon is designed to respond to your current task, but you can choose to minimize it if you need more space for your screen. As shown on the screen, you can click the ribbon display options arrow in the upper right corner of the ribbon to display the drop-down menu. Please note, there are 3 modes in the ribbon display options menu. 1. The auto hide ribbon. This auto hide displays your workbook in full screen mode and completely hides the ribbon. To show the ribbon, click the expand ribbon command at the top of screen. 2. Show tabs. This option hides all command groups when they're not in use, but tabs will remain visible. To show the ribbon, simply click a tab. And lastly, the show tabs and commands. This option maximizes the ribbon. All of the tabs and commands will be visible. This option is selected by default when you open Excel for the first time. Now about the quick access toolbar. This is located just above the ribbon. This quick access toolbar lets you access common commands, no matter which tab is selected. By default, it includes the save, undo, and repeat commands. But you can add other commands depending on your preferences. To add commands to the quick access toolbar, click the drop-down arrow to the right of the quick access toolbar. Then select the command you want to add from the drop-down menu. To choose from more commands, select More Commands. The command will be added to the quick access toolbar. The How to Use Tell Me function. The Tell Me box works like a search bar. It is to help you quickly find tools or commands that you want to use. For example, type in your own words what you want to do. Then, the results will give you a few relevant options. To use one, click it like you would a command on the ribbon. Now, let's talk about Excel worksheet views. Excel 2016 has a variety of viewing options that allows you to change how your workbook is displayed. These views can be useful for various tasks, especially if you're planning to print the spreadsheet. To change worksheet views, locate the commands in the bottom right corner of the Excel window and select Normal View, Page Layout View, or Page Break View. This is the normal view, which is the default view for all worksheets in Excel. This is the page layout view, which displays how your worksheets will appear when printed. You can also add headers and footers in this view. And lastly, the page break view. This view allows you to change the location of page breaks, which is especially helpful when printing a lot of data from Excel. Now let's continue the discussion about the Backstage view. The Backstage view gives you various options for saving, opening a file, printing, and sharing your workbooks. This is how to access Backstage view. First, click the File tab on the ribbon. The Backstage view will appear. Here, as you can see, there are many various options, such as Info, New Workbook, Save, Print, and many more. This wraps up the introduction section. Thank you for your attention. If you have gone this far, you should be comfortable navigating with Excel by now. The next step is to learn how to enter and edit data in Excel. There are 4 data types in Excel: text, number, logical or formula, and error. To enter data in any cell, just select the cell and start typing. Once done, press Enter to move to the cell below. In case you are entering dates, enter it in a format that Excel recognizes as a date. This tutorial will show you how to manipulate data, such as add, edit, delete, and replace. We will also cover topics, such as autofill, and number formatting. Let's begin. You may notice Excel interface showing squares with numbers in vertical and alphabet in horizontal. These horizontal column represented by alphabet, thus column A, column B, column C, etc. And this vertical row is represented by numbers, thus row 1, row 2, row 3, etc. And this cell is called name box, which is B2, combination between column B and row 2. As mentioned earlier, there are 4 different data types in Excel: text, number, logical or formula, and error data types. Now, let me demo these data types in Excel during data entry. Assuming I enter the following data in Excel: text, text. Number, 60. Formula, equal, B2, plus 10, and enter. Error, equal, B2, divide 0, and enter. As you can see, this is text data type. This is number data type. This is formula data type. And this is error data type. Error data types are often displayed by a hash symbol, with uppercase text and a symbol. In this example, would be when a user attempts to divide a number by 0. Let's continue to perform a simple data entry. To enter data on Excel, simply type on blank cell, for example C2. I would type 70. Then, I would continue with 80 and 90. If you select and type on cell that already has data, in this case cell B1, then the content will be overwritten. Let's go ahead and overwrite cell B1 with text January. But, hang on, let's say you change your mind, and want to keep the text instead of replacing it with word January. You can click Undo button, up above the left-hand corner. But for this exercise we want to stick with January, so click the Redo button next to Undo button. And continue our data entry with February, March, and April. There you go, we complete with short and simple data entry. How to perform data deletion. Simply select the cell and press the delete button. You can select more than one cell and perform the deletion. We can click Undo button again, if we want to keep the data. Did you notice, there is a spelling mistake on the word February? You can select the cell, and hit F7 button, and check the spelling mistake. But, for this exercise, we would correct the spelling mistake manually. You may double-click the cell or select the cell and click on Formula bar to retype. There you go. Now we would go ahead, and overwrite text, with the word month. Number with the word sales, and formula with the word revenue, and replace error with bonus. Lastly, we select these cells and make it bold and fill with color yellow. We select the cells again, by clicking and hold the left mouse button and press delete button. You notice the bold and yellow color still remain in the cells. Because, delete will only clear the cell data, but not the formatting. If we want to delete the data and cell formatting, we have to use clear button and clear all. We can click the Redo button again. Now let's perform autofill function in Excel. Excel is smart enough to notice there is a data pattern, starting from cell B1, January to E1 April. We do not want to type manually. For the next subsequent month name, we can use autofill function in Excel. Simply, select the cell starting from January, and point below until the mouse pointer change to plus sign, and drag all the way to column M and release your mouse. There you go, now we have complete months in a year. We can do the same for below cells, since there is already a pattern. But this time we select 60 and select cell ranges all the way to column M. And click Fill button and select Series, and click OK. We just completed simple Excel autofill function. This simple function will make task data entry much easier. Now let's continue make correction with the error. Move your mouse and select the cell and click the formula bar. For this exercise, we will change 0 with 10. And hit enter. Now the cell value has changed. Let's perform copying and pasting of data. Select cell B3 which is 70, and hit Ctrl+C on your keyboard, or right-click your mouse and select Copy. Move your mouse, and select cell C3 and select all the way until column M, and press Ctrl+V on the keyboard, or paste. Do the same for bonus, select cell B4 which 6, and press Ctrl+C copy, and select cell C4 all the way until column M and again press Ctrl+V on keyboard, paste. We just completed another simple exercise, copy and paste formula, which will make our data entry even easier. We have performed enough data entry, we do not want to lose our work. Now let's save our work. Click File, and this will bring to Backstage view. Scroll down and select and click Save. Since this is the first time we save, Excel will ask where to save our work. Click Browse button and we will save in the default Documents folder. And click Save button. Thank you. We just wrapped up this section about simple data entry and modification. This next section will cover basics data formatting in Excel. Basic formatting allows for customized look and feel of Excel workbook, making it more presentable and allowing to draw attention. It is also making specific sections or content easier to read, view, and understand. For example, if you have dataset and you want to highlight the negative numbers, you can simply highlight it in red color. Or you have important title or text, you might want to make the font size big and bold. Here are some of the common formatting will be covered. Applying font, size, and color to text. Changing cell alignment. Giving cell color. Applying borders cells. Format Painter. There are many more cells formatting available in Excel which we suggest you to explore yourself. Now, let's start. To change the font size of selected text in Excel. Select the text or cells you want to change. On the Home tab, click the drop-down arrow next to the font size command, then select the desired font size. In our example, we will choose 14 to make the text larger. The text will change to the selected font size. As you can see, the selected cell is a larger font size now. You can also use the increase font size and decrease font size commands, or enter a custom font size using your keyboard. To change the font of selected text in Excel. By default, the font of each new workbook is set to Calibri. However, Excel also provides many other fonts, for you to customize your cell text. First, select the text. In our exercise I will select all the months. Then on the Home tab, click the drop-down arrow next to the font command, then select the desired font. In our example, we'll choose Arial and hit OK button. Now, the selected cell is a different font. Please note, when creating a workbook in the workplace, you'll want to select a font that is easy to read. Along with Calibri, standard reading fonts include Cambria, Times New Roman, and Arial. Now let's change the font color. First select the text or cells you want to change. On the Home tab, click the drop-down arrow next to the font color command, then select the desired font color. In our example, we'll choose green. The text will change to the selected font color. The selected cell is a different color now. To use the bold, italic, and underline commands, select the text or cells you want to change. Then click the bold, italic, or underline command on the Home tab. In our example, we'll make the selected cells bold. The selected style will be applied to the text. Please note, there are some shortcuts available. You can press Ctrl+B on your keyboard to make selected text bold. Press Ctrl+I to apply italics, and press Ctrl+U to apply an underline. Now changing the cell borders and fill colors. Cell borders and fill colors allow you to create clear and defined boundaries for different sections of your worksheet. We'll add cell borders and fill color to our header cells to help distinguish them from the rest of the worksheet. To add a fill color, select the cell that you want to modify. On the Home tab, click the drop-down arrow next to the Fill Color command, then select the fill color you want to use. In our example, we'll choose a dark gray. The selected fill color will appear in the selected cells. We've also changed the font color to white to make it more readable with this dark fill color. As you can see, the fill color has been applied to the selected cells. To add a border, select the cell you want to modify. On the Home tab, click the drop-down arrow next to the Borders command, then select the border style you want to use. In our example, we'll choose to display all borders. The selected border style will appear. The borders have been applied to the selected cells. Cell styles. Instead of formatting cells manually, you can use Excel's pre-designed cell styles. Cell styles are a quick way to include professional formatting for different parts of your workbook, such as titles and headers. For this exercise, we'll apply a new cell style to our existing title and header cells. Select the cell you want to modify. On the Home tab, click Cell Styles, and then select the style that you want. The selected cell style will appear. The cell style has been applied to the selected cells. Please note, applying a cell style will replace any existing cell formatting except for text alignment. You may not want to use cell styles if you've already added a lot of formatting to your workbook. Text alignment. By default, any text entered into your worksheet will be aligned to the bottom left of a cell, while any numbers will be aligned to the bottom right. Changing the alignment of your cell content allows you to choose how the content is displayed in any cell, which can make your cell content easier to read. To change horizontal text alignment. For this exercise, we'll modify the alignment of our title cell to create a more polished look and further distinguish it from the rest of the worksheet. Select the cell that you want to modify. Select one of the 3 horizontal alignment commands on the Home tab. In our example, we'll choose Center Align. The text will realign. The selected cells are now center aligned. Select the cell that you want to modify. Select one of the 3 vertical alignment commands on the Home tab. In our example, we'll choose Middle Align. The text will realign. The selected cells are now middle aligned. You can apply both vertical and horizontal alignment settings to any cell. Format Painter. Format Painter allows for standard or uniform formatting across range of selected cell. If you want to copy formatting from one cell to another, you can use the Format Painter command on the Home tab. When you click the Format Painter, it will copy all of the formatting from the selected cell. You can then click and drag over any cells you want to paste the formatting to. To use the Format Painter tool, first, select the text that has the formatting you want to copy. Click once on the Format Painter tool. Then select the text you want to apply the formatting to. The characteristics will be applied automatically. Now, let's save our work by clicking the Save button on Quick Access toolbar on the top left-hand corner. We have completed the basic cell formatting in Excel. This section covers topic working with cells, rows, and columns. Cells are the basic component of a worksheet. Every Excel worksheet consists of columns and rows. Which mentioned earlier, the vertical columns are numbered with alphabetic values, such as A, B, C. And the horizontal rows are numbered with numeric values such as 1, 2, 3. We will cover the following topics: selecting cells and range, working with cells to merge and wrap, modifying columns and row width and height, auto-fit column width, column and row inserting, deleting, moving, and hiding. Let's start with our exercise. This section covers topic working with cells, rows, and columns. Excel rows and columns of a new workbook is set to the same height and the same width. Excel allows you to modify column width and row height in different ways, including wrapping text and merging cells. As you can see on screen, some of the column is too narrow to display all of the content in the cell. For our exercise, we can make all of this content visible by changing the width of column. To modify column width, first, position the mouse over the column line in the column heading so the cursor becomes a double arrow. Then click and drag the mouse to increase or decrease the column width. And release the mouse. The column width has now changed and resized. This is changing the column width manually. Now let's talk about the auto-fit column. The auto-fit feature allows you to set a column's width to fit its content automatically. As you see on the screen, if we have large data, it would be too time-consuming to adjust the column width manually one by one. What you need to do is position the mouse over the column line in the column heading so the cursor becomes a double arrow. Then double-click the mouse. The column width now changed automatically to fit the content. Please note, you may also perform auto-fit column width for several columns at the same time. This is simply by selecting the columns you want to auto-fit, then select the auto-fit column width command from the Format drop-down menu on the Home tab. The same method can also be used for changing row height. This is how to modify row height. In our exercise, simply position the cursor over the row line so the cursor becomes a double arrow. Then click and drag the mouse to increase or decrease the row height. For our exercise, we need to modify all rows or columns. Instead of resizing rows and columns individually, you can modify the height and width of every row and column at the same time. This method allows you to set a uniform size for every row and column in your worksheet. First, click the Select All button, which is just below the name box, then adjust the row width or column height. This change all rows and column in uniform size. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk about inserting, deleting, moving, and hiding function. You may find that you want to insert new columns or rows, delete certain rows or columns, move them to a different location in the worksheet, or even hide them. This is how to insert new rows. First, we select the row heading below where you want the new row to appear. In this example, we want to insert a row between above row 1, so we'll select row 1. Then, click the Insert command on the Home tab. Let's enter text and type, Personal Sales Forecast in uppercase. Change the size to 18 and make it bold. Let's perform another insert row between row 4 and row 5. Please note, after you inserting new rows, you will see a paintbrush icon next to the inserted cells. This button allows you to choose how Excel formats these cells. By default, Excel formats inserted rows with the same formatting as the cells in the row above. To access more options, hover your mouse over the icon, then click the drop-down arrow. For this exercise, we will type fixed income on cell A5. Now, let's perform insert columns. First, select the column heading, to the right of where you want the new column to appear. For example, we want to insert a new column between column D and E, then we select column E. Click the Insert command on the Home tab. Let's call this column heading as Q1 Sales. Perform another insert column, between column H and I, and call it, Q2 Sales. And another insert column, between column L and M, and call it, Q3 Sales. Lastly, type Q4 Sales for the last column on column Q. Please note, when inserting rows and columns, make sure you select the entire row or column, by clicking the heading. If you select only a cell in the row or column, the Insert command will only insert a new cell. Let me show you. We will undo for this exercise. Now, let's perform deletion of row or column. It's easy to delete a row or column that you no longer need. In our example, we'll delete a row, but you can delete a column the same way. Select the row you want to delete. In our exercise, we'll select row 4, which is revenue. Then, click the Delete command on the Home tab. The selected row will be deleted, and below row shifted and moved up. In our example, row Fixed Income has moved up. It's important to understand the difference between deleting a row or column and simply clearing its contents. If you want to remove the content from a row or column without causing others to shift, right-click a heading, then select Clear Contents from the drop-down menu. In this case, we don't perform clear content. Now, let's perform moving of row or column. Sometimes, you may want to move a column or row to rearrange the content of your worksheet. For this exercise, we'll move a row. The same method can be applied to move a column. First, select the desired row heading for the column you want to move. In this case, row bonus. Then, click the Cut command on the Home tab, or press Ctrl+X on your keyboard. Next, select the column heading above of where you want to move the column. For example, we want to move row bonus above Fixed Income, then we select Fixed Income row. Click the Insert command on the Home tab, then select Insert Cut Cells from the drop-down menu. The row now moved to the selected location, and the row around it will shift. You can also access the Cut and Insert commands by right-clicking the mouse and selecting the desired commands from the drop-down menu. Now, let's talk about hide and unhide of row or column. Excel allows you to hide rows and columns. In our example, we'll hide a few columns, but you can hide rows in the same way. Select the columns you want to hide. In our example, we will hide columns E, column I, column M, and column Q. Press and hold Ctrl key on keyboard and select column using mouse. Then, right-click the mouse, and select Hide from the formatting menu. The columns will be hidden. The green column line indicates the location of the hidden columns. To unhide the columns, select the columns on both sides of the hidden columns. Then right-click the mouse and select Unhide from the formatting menu. The hidden columns will now reappear. Next, let's talk about wrapping text and merging cells. Wrapping the text means allowing cell contents to be displayed on multiple lines. Whereas, merging allows you to combine a cell with adjacent empty cells to create one large cell. As you can see from our exercise, the text in cell E2, cell I2, cell M2, and cell Q2 are partly visible. This is how to wrap text in cells, so the text is visible. Select the cells you want to wrap. First press and hold Ctrl key on keyboard. Because we are going to select multiple cells. In this example, we'll select the cells E2 or Q1 sales, I2 Q2 sales, cell M2 Q3 sales, and cell Q2 Q4 sales. Then click the Wrap Text command on the Home tab. The text in the selected cells will be wrapped. If you want to unwrap it, select and click Wrap Text again. Now let's continue with next topic, how to merge cells, using the Merge and Center command. Please be careful when using Merge feature. Because, Excel will only keep the contents of the upper left cell, and discard the rest. For our exercise, we'll enter 100 from cell B5 to cell Q5. In order to perform Merge and Center, select the cell range you want to merge. In this case, we select cell range cell B5 to cell Q5. Click the Merge and Center command, on the Home tab. Excel will display a warning, that says, only keep upper left value and discard other values. Hit the OK button and we will proceed. The selected cells will be merged, and the text will be centered. But now there is only one value, which is 100. If you click the drop-down arrow, next to the Merge and Center command, on the Home tab, the Merge drop-down menu will appear. From here there are few options. Merge and Center, merges the selected cells, into one cell and centers the text. Merge Across, merges the selected cells, into larger cells while keeping each row separate. Merge Cells, merges the selected cells, into one cell but does not center the text. Unmerge Cells, unmerges selected cells. Merging can be useful for organizing your data, but it can also create problems. One of the problem with merging is that, you can't perform sorting on merged cell. It can also difficult to move, copy, and paste content from merged cells. In our exercise, the cell B5 to cell Q5 has been merged. Now let's perform unmerge to our merged cells. There is an alternative to merging, it is called Center Across Selection, which creates a similar effect, without actually combining cells. This is how to perform Center Across Selection. First, select the desired cell range. In our example, we'll select cells B5 to cell Q5. Click the small arrow, in the lower right corner of the alignment group, on the Home tab. A dialog box will appear. Locate and select the horizontal drop-down menu, select Center Across Selection, then click OK. The content will be centered across the selected cell range. As you can see, this creates the same visual result as merging and centering, but it preserves each cell. This wrapped up this section. Let's save our work. Let's continue with the next section. This is the last chapter for Lesson 1. This section covers topic working with worksheet. Worksheet is a collection of cells, organized in rows and columns, where you keep and manipulate the data. Each Excel workbook can contain multiple worksheets. Excel worksheet is like giant table, that allows you to organize information, where you actually perform your calculations. These are some subtopics we will cover. Navigating through worksheets. Modifying worksheet name and color. Adding and deleting worksheets. Hiding and unhiding worksheets. Moving and copying worksheets. Comparing worksheets side by side. Splitting worksheet into panes. Freeze panes. Let's start with our exercise. By default, when you create new workbook in Excel 2016, there is only one worksheet. This worksheet is called Sheet 1. Sometimes you may need to create more than one worksheet, especially when working with large amount of data. I will show you the simple step to create or insert a new worksheet. First, click the plus button near the bottom right corner of the Excel window. Then a new blank worksheet will appear. By default, the new worksheet will be called Sheet 2, since there is already existence of Sheet 1. To rename this worksheet, you can simply double-click the worksheet, or you can right-click and select Rename. In our exercise, we will rename Sheet 1 as 2022. Now, if you need to duplicate the content of Sheet 2022, you can use the Move or Copy function. This is how to do it. In our exercise, use mouse right-click on Sheet 2022. Then select Move or Copy from the Worksheet menu. The Move or Copy dialog box will appear. Then you choose where the sheet will appear, in the Before Sheet field. In our example, we'll move to End, to the right of the existing worksheet. Check the box next to create a copy, then click OK. The worksheet will be copied. It will have the same title as the original worksheet, as well as a version number. We will rename this worksheet as 2021. In our exercise, we want to move the newly duplicated sheet to first position. This is how to do it. You can just click and drag the worksheet to the first position until a small black arrow appears above the desired location. Then release the mouse. The worksheet will be moved. You can change the worksheet tab color. Simply right-click the desired worksheet tab, and hover the mouse over tab color. The color menu will appear. Then select the desired color. The worksheet tab color will be changed. Now, let's talk about navigating between worksheets. Currently we only have 3 worksheets, Sheet 2021, Sheet 2022 and Sheet 2. For this exercise, I will create some new worksheets, by clicking the plus button. Now if you want to switch to a different worksheet, you can simply click the tab to switch to that worksheet. However, if there are many worksheets, you may need to use the left and right arrow to navigate between worksheet. The alternative is, by right-clicking the mouse between 2 arrows left and right, and choose the worksheet and click OK. You may also hide and unhide the worksheet. Simply by right-clicking the worksheet and select Hide or Unhide. As simple as that. But, why do you need to hide the worksheet? What's the reason? The reason is simply, to prevent other users from accidentally, or deliberately changing, moving, or deleting data in a worksheet. Let's continue with deleting the worksheet. In our exercise, we will delete those worksheets that we just created. First right-click that we want to delete, then select Delete from the Worksheet menu. The worksheet will be deleted from the workbook. Next we will discuss the scenario, working with large data in Excel worksheet. In our example, our data is pretty small, only 5 rows and 17 columns. Sometimes, you may need to work on large data in Excel. In this exercise, we will simulate creating large data, consists of random numbers. There you go, now we have quite a large data to play with our exercise. Let's continue with our exercise scenario. For example, if we are at the bottom of rows, we need to scroll up to see whether this number belongs to which month. Then we need to scroll down again to make changes. This is very time consuming. The easiest way is by using freeze function. Here, we select the third row, then click View tab, and click Freeze Panes button, and select Freeze Panes. Now viewing and editing data at the bottom row is much easier, because the heading is now visible. We can also freeze first column. For this exercise, we will go ahead and unfreeze the pane. We have completed freezing the header for easy viewing. Now, let's move on to our next scenario. Imagine we need to compare the data in row 5 with data in row 30. We can use the manual method, scrolling up and down, which is time consuming and not efficient. Instead, we can use the feature called New Window. First, go to View tab and click New Window button. The window will be split into two, then we click Arrange All and choose Tiled. Now we have two windows, which is mirrored, contains exact same data. When you edit one cell, it will be reflected on the other window. But here in this scenario, by splitting into two windows, you can see the data in upper rows and lower rows at the same time. This saves our time scrolling up and down. For this exercise, we will revert to one window by closing the other window. The other next feature is called Split. First, position where you want the split by selecting the cell. Then click Split button. As you can see on the screen, this function will divide the window into different panes, so that you can scroll separately. These features would make editing and viewing large data in Excel is much easier. Depending on the circumstances, you may choose New Window or Split function. With that, we have completed Lesson 1. I hope you enjoy and continue with Lesson 2. Please share your view and feedback. Please do not forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you.